a new mega Bitcoin prediction by a major international bank, this time for $200,000 BTC by the end of 2024. That's 300% gains away, guys. And if Bitcoin goes to $200,000 in 2024, guess what? Your altcoin bags, yo, they're gonna moon so hard, it's gonna be crazy. Now, obviously, we're not there yet. We are on the eve of what could be a Bitcoin ETF approval within the next 24 to 48 hours. Wednesday, I guess 5 p.m. Eastern time is probably approximately the deadline when we should expect to hear either an approval or a denial from the SEC. Basically, everybody right now betting on approval, but hey, we'll see what happens. Always a non-zero chance that we could see this thing kick down the road even further. If that happens, watch out for your butts because it'll get messy real quick. Either way, I expect volatility. But let's look at the charts. Let's look at the big news of the day and break down that Bitcoin ETF prediction for you. So first off, let's turn over the charts here real quick. Look at this. Boom. Bitcoin, big move today, moving up from 44K up to 47K. Very nice move. MACD starting a nice little uptrend here. It's quite funny for me, though. I don't want to spend too much time on the charts because the charts are so news-driven at the particular moment, but it's quite funny for me to see that big green candle. It's like the market woke up today and everybody suddenly remembered, holy crap, there's going to be a Bitcoin ETF trading on U.S. markets soon. Yeah, it's literally all we've been talking about basically for the last 3 or 4 months. It's coming. It's coming. Watch out. When we get approval, big volatility. My guess, big upside volatility in the very short term, and then potentially some downside volatility in the couple weeks afterwards, depending on, of course, how much money gets brought in. But that downside volatility, just for reference, may bring us back down to the low prices of like $45,000 from 60 to back down to 45K. Remember, this is a volatile asset class, no matter what happens in the markets, okay? Also want to share this crazy chart with you because I think it's a very, very interesting one. Look at this. Look at this trend line right here. This goes all the way back to the 2017 top. This brings us then in at support areas in the bottoms here throughout the previous market cycle. And now we're coming up right again on that is a line of potential resistance. Just an interesting chart to share with you. Fascinating that, isn't it? Where could we be going? Well, of course, we're at a very critical line right now. But as soon as we break out above that, oh boy, watch out. Watch out because it could get real crazy real fast. And of course, right now we are at a very critical line for Bitcoin, which is the previous mega area of price resistance. This was the final pump in the market before things completely collapsed back in March of 2022. That's approximately where we're getting to right now in the market. So very, very close here for that. This is a key area of resistance for us to pass over. Of course, interesting area for us to reach before a Bitcoin ETF approval. Obviously, if we reject here on a denial, we're coming back down. We're coming back down probably pretty violently. If we get approved here, we're going to cut through that thing like a hot knife through butter. It'll be glorious. It'll be glorious, of course, bringing us probably back up in the zone, at least, of challenging some of those previous highs in the market in the 60K, even all the way up potentially the 70K range. We could see a pretty easy, quick 20% candle potentially, or even more coming in for Bitcoin. Now, before we break down the big news of the day and the prediction, just a quick reminder, if you're not yet signed with the Wealth Master newsletter, you got to get checked out. Best damn newsletter in the cryptocurrency industry. Every issue jam-packed full of alpha. We have deep dive altcoin reports, the news, of course, because it's a newsletter. We have NFTs and technical analysis and much, much more. The hottest, latest airdrops, all kinds of stuff. This is read by 100,000 people every single week. That can be you too for free using the link down below in the description. Thank you very much. So let's dive into a little bit of the news here. VanEck, they just bought $72.5 million of the Bitcoin to seed their Bitcoin ETF. Now, they were initially talking about a much lower number, but hey, there you go. Boom, 72 million bucks. Bitcoin bought by VanEck. These guys know what's coming. They know the approval's coming. They can't say anything. Here they are. They're seeding 72 million bucks. That's big. It's a big number. A lot of Bitcoin's about to be bought up. And these are just the seed amounts. This is just so they have some kind of liquidity on day one to start trading. CNBC reporting a spot Bitcoin ETF likely to be approved on Wednesday, potentially trading on Thursday or Friday. Now, there was some last-minute amendments. So the SEC came back to some of these providers and said, hey, we need you guys to rush a quick amendment through. And some people said, oh, maybe that's a bit bearish. Does this mean there's going to be a delay? Look, there's no delays at this point. It's either approve or deny on the 10th of January. That's it. ARK Invest, 10th of January. They either have to approve them or deny them. And they're going to approve everybody at once or nobody. Now, with that particular piece of news, what the ETF experts are saying is it's actually not a big deal. It's actually almost a bit unprecedented because they sent that email out to people. It's basically same-day correspondence here with the SEC, which never happens. They never message you or call you back on the same day. Again, we are at unprecedented levels of interaction and progress here. So the SEC is trying to push these final little details and crossing of T's and dotting of I's through at the last very minute here to try and get everything in a line to be approved. So not a bearish thing, in my opinion, and that's according to what I've read from the ETF experts. So just a bit of paperwork finishing up here. And now let's get into that glorious 200K price prediction from Standard Chartered Bank. These guys have been bullish for a while here on Bitcoin. Bitcoin price upside from spot U.S. ETF approval. Let's dig into what they have to say here. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission is expected to approve spot Bitcoin ETFs for Bitcoin as soon as this week. ETF approval is a key driver of BTC price upside, as we recently outlined in their $100,000 prediction by the end of 2024. We see this as a watershed moment for normalizing Bitcoin participation by institutional money, and we expect approval to drive significant inflows and price upside for BTC. To gauge how big of a driver this might become, we use the introduction of the first US-based gold ETP back in November 2004 as a point of comparison. The price of gold rose 4.3x in the 7 to 8 years it took for gold ETP holdings to mature after the first ETP was introduced. We expect Bitcoin to enjoy price gains of a similar magnitude as a result of US spot ETF approval. We see these gains materializing over a shorter 1 or 2 year period, given our view that the BTC ETF market will develop more quickly. This is consistent with our end 2024 view that Bitcoin at USD $100,000. If ETF-related inflows materialize as we expect, we think an end of 2025 level closer to $200,000 is possible. This assumes that between 437,000 and 1.32 million new Bitcoin will be held in spot US ETFs by the end of 2024. In USD terms, this should be roughly to $50 to $100 billion. That's a lot of cheddar. What do you think? Do you agree with Standard Charter's prediction? Is this going to get us up to 200K? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.